Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm playing Spell Chess, where players can cast a spell before each move. The jump spell allows you to move over a piece as if it weren't there, and the freeze spell allows you to freeze a 3x3 area of the board. Spells recharge after 3 turns, and you can't use the same spell twice in a row. My goal is to win 3 games. Let's get started with game number 1. I have to assume that this variant will just be a storm of tactics, so I'm going to try to play super aggressively and see what I can get. Let's see. Okay, so we're in check and oh. Okay, does that mean I'm not allowed to defend myself from check? Have I played too aggressively? Maybe I have to freeze the bishop so it can't capture my king, because clearly there's no way for me to block this. All of these pieces are frozen. So we're going to freeze the bishop and take a free pawn. No harm, no foul. I think we're good here. Worst case scenario, right? He can't freeze again because you can't freeze twice in a row. Instead, he's put a jump spell on this pawn. Also, does that pawn have a nose or a really weird smile? I can't tell. Anyways, he's put a jump spell on this pawn and is now giving check this way. This is me, Tony, editing, and I normally wouldn't interrupt a video, but I have to make this very clear. I was extremely confused and thought the queen was putting me in check with a jump spell when anyone with a pair of eyes can see that it's actually the bishop, which was unfrozen, that's now putting me in check. Why this was so confusing to me, I have no idea, but enjoy my suffering for the next bit of this very short game. So, if I were to ignore that and play, I don't know, bishop here, then he would be able to take my king. So, I have to defend this and this at the same time? I might have done myself in on this one. Okay, I'm going to try defending this, but I assume that allows him to capture here on the next turn. Let's see. Oh, no, clearly it does. Oh, yeah, it does. Yep, it definitely does. Well, we tried that. Okay, that's a little bit confusing though. I'm a little bit confused by how this works, but I guess we'll give that a try on the next game. Let's move on to game number 2. All right, we've received the black pieces again, which is probably not the best thing in the world, but we're definitely not going to play that again. Let's play c6. This is what I'd normally play. I play the Caro-Kann. And we'll see if this happens again. Okay, it doesn't. Let's try it ourselves. Let's play this. We'll cast the jump spell on the pawn, and then we'll play check. Now, I'd imagine that if he makes a move that doesn't get the king out of check, I can do what my last opponent did. Okay, but he does. He plays c3, so fair play to him. And I can't cast the spell twice in a row. So, I guess we'll just develop the knight, hit the e4 pawn with either a big nose or a weird smile, and maybe we can look at d5 as well, hitting these 2 centralized pieces, and I think we're doing okay. I actually believe that this is a line, not a main line, clearly, but I think it's a line that people play in normal chess. Okay, we get queen to f3. Also, I haven't commented on the aesthetics besides the funny nose mouth, but I actually like the setup. Like, this looks like a really sick warthog. I like the bishops. The rooks look really robust. Anyways, queen to f3 I don't think generates any new threats. So, oh, wait a minute. Yes, it does, right? He could cast a jump spell on the knight and dive into f7. So, we'll play d5, block the bishop from hitting f7, and I think we're in business after this. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. So we've lost our queen. Wow, I'm so much worse at this variant than any of the others. And I can't even take this because he'll capture this. So I'll take the bishop, I guess. We're down material, and that's an understatement. Okay, we get rook here, which could threaten to take the king if he puts a spell on this pawn. I believe we've played way too aggressively with the black pieces. Let's play this. We'll bring the knight out. We'll play a little more defensively. I gotta keep my eyes peeled because clearly trying to play offense with black is not the move here. With any luck, he'll overextend and kind of leave all these pieces undeveloped, and maybe by getting all of our pieces out, somehow we can make a comeback. But I'm the first to admit that that is very optimistic thinking. Okay, the queen goes back. That's actually a great sign. I'm going to freeze the rook and simultaneously attack it. Right? And I think that's good because the only way I see to defend it is like d4, but that walks into en passant. And f4, is f4 possible or does that not count as a legal move? I don't know. I think once you're in the square, you can't actually move, but you can move into the square. Okay, queen comes here. So if I take, he puts a jump spell on my pawn and then he takes my king. So We're not walking into that. Instead, we'll hit the queen, and we're still threatening the rook. Oh, I probably should have frozen the queen as well. Oh, that would have been great. Oh, okay. I'm playing too quickly without remembering that first I apply the spell, and then I move. But I guess it doesn't mean anything because the freeze spell was already in use. Okay, he jumps over this and takes the rook. I am getting completely fried in this position. This might not even be worth playing, but I guess knight here is the only legal move. So we'll play knight there. Lose the knight. Terrible situation. Okay, maybe if he takes, I can freeze the queen and then threaten it with my other knight. That's not bad, right? That's not half bad. What can he possibly do? Right, all of his other pieces aren't developed. Who's going to come save the queen? If I win this is going to be the No way! No way he resigned! I was going to say it would be the craziest comeback if I won this. Why would he resign? He's up so much material. Maybe he just got frustrated that he was going to lose his queen. But he was definitely still winning, even if he lost the queen. Anyways, that's game number 1 that we've won. Anyways, it's game number 2. Let's move on to game number 3. All right, game number 3. We're 1 out of 2, and we get the white pieces, which is actually great news. I'm so sorry to everybody that watches me because I play the London system. Today, we are E4 players. Let's play this. We're going to try to jump over the pawn and pick up the king. I imagine C6, knight here are the only 2 options. So there's not too much to think about here. But boy, is he thinking. I guess you could also freeze the bishop and play anything else. Right, so he elects to do that, freezes the bishop and develops the queen instead, looking for this little jump tactic, and hitting the pawn. So I really have no choice here but to freeze the queen and threaten it so I can win it. So let's freeze the queen, move the knight to f3. Notice that the box, because I clicked on the queen and not g4, the box sits just outside of where my knight lands, so I can still move my knight on the next turn and win the queen. Which is spectacular. Oh! Wait a minute, did we forget about this? Let's go ahead and do that and take our second victory. Nice, that was excellent. Okay, I feel much better playing with the white pieces because of how dynamic this variant is, just inherently due to these really weird spells. As soon as you develop a piece, just one piece, there's a lot of opportunities for crazy weird tactics. So I much prefer to play with the white pieces, but we might get black on the next one. Let's move on to game number 4. We're 2 out of 3 so far. Okay, we got the black pieces again, which I can't celebrate. So we'll see what our opponent plays because he is a 1500 with a question mark, so he may not be familiar with this variant. Let's play this preemptively. I really didn't like that this worked on our last opponent, so I'm definitely not going to let it work on us. Queen comes out to this square, which makes perfect sense. Let's play... I'm thinking because I know that I can always freeze the queen, and as long as I can attack it on the next turn, it's a guaranteed queen for me. Well, you know, assuming he doesn't freeze my own piece. I guess it could get a little muckier than I'm making it sound, but... What about queen here? Threatening this. Right, there's no way to attack my queen on the next turn, so I guess he'd have to freeze it. And he's not actually threatening anything here, so let's give that a try. I assume c3 would put me in a kind of precarious position because then he could freeze my queen and play b4. What on earth is that? I don't think he understands how this works because I can still take that queen. Oh, I could have taken the king too with the jump. Oh, I blew that. I completely blew that. It's okay. It's not like I'm losing or anything. We've won the queen. Okay, and clearly this guy is new to the game, so we will... Wait, what is happening? Why can't I pick it up? Oh, there we go. Misclicked. All right, we've won 3 games, and that went by extremely quickly. I am happy that I made a quick recovery. Very, very steep one if you ask me, but I guess the learning curve on this game is just very steep. Because I went from blundering left and right to, you know, missing that it was winning, but still playing another winning move. So I'm willing to say that I got a little bit better at this variant. That went by so exceedingly quickly that I'm going to play a bonus game just for funsies and see if we can get paired with somebody a little bit stronger because I'm now 1560. It'd be nice if I got somebody who wasn't clearly brand new to the game. Let's go ahead and move on to another game. Oh, I guess I did ask for that. We get an 1800, and you don't get to 1800 by accident. Not in this variant, you don't. Okay, that was clearly a pre-move. Why doesn't this opening work? Probably because of c3. Knight to f6, freezes my queen b4. There's no way for me to counterattack the queen. La-di-da, terrible situation, etc., etc., etc. So, what on earth do I play here? It's just terribly hard to calculate anything too far in advance. What about d5? Clearly the idea here would be like bishop c4 and then make me suffer over f7, so I'd imagine d5 is worth something. Okay, he takes my pawn. Do I actually take that back? Like, I could take it with my queen, and then have a fair queen trade. Bishop comes here with check, freezes all of these pieces. I have to move my king out of the way. It's not terrible, but I'm almost tempted to just play knight f6. Right? He takes my pawn, I freeze his queen, bishop here. You take here, I take. You can't promote because my bishop retroactively defends, so you take back. Probably a sticky situation, but we're here for a good time, not a long time. And we're playing in 1800, so I'm going to give him a headache if I can. All right, we're going to freeze you. Oh, wait, but I've frozen my own bishop then. That's okay. We tried. Oh, wait, this is exactly what I calculated. And then if he promotes, I just retroactively take with the bishop. And actually, oh, wait, I can't freeze him. Never mind. I was going to say I'm going to freeze this bishop so that he can't come here with check, which is quite annoying, but I suppose there's enough pieces here that I can defend many different ways. Right, so he doesn't even bother freezing anything. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized whatever piece I move, he can just place a jump spell on it and then take my king. But, oh, wait a minute. No, it's not losing. I have a freeze. Okay. We're fine. Never mind. I apologize for being dramatic. I was overreacting. Wait, let's place the spell first. Okay. Let's place it here so I can actually take the bishop. So I'll place the freeze spell here and then move my bishop here. Now what? He can't put a jump spell on this and then take my king because the bishop is frozen. But my bishop isn't frozen, so I can take him on the next turn. What are we going to do now, Mr. 1800, huh? You didn't think a 1500 would give you a run for your money, did you? All right, I'm feeling quite confident about winning this. As long as I keep my king in relative safety and I foresee any potential counterattacks, I should be totally fine here. There's really not much to worry about. Okay, my opponent is taking his sweet time thinking, which I can't be one to say anything. I'm down to 320 and we're only on move 7, but I've used up almost half my time for 7 moves. But I would argue it was well spent. If you're in a critical position, use the time. You'd rather make a smart move than have a bunch of time on the clock and have to figure it out like he is right now, right? Played very quickly for 7 moves. Now we have extra time to think about our mistakes. And I'm going in way too hard on my opponent. This is just for fun, obviously. But I think that's a good general rule of thumb for when you're playing chess, right? Better off using your time to get into a good position and then have to play in a good position quickly than play very quickly into a bad position and then spend a lot of time trying to get out of it. Anyways, he freezes our bishop and undoes his bishop's freeze. So I can't actually take his bishop now, but I can play knight here. So a jump spell would just get him over one of those pieces, but it wouldn't actually get him to the king. So I'm going to play this. Our king is nice and well defended. Don't really think he has any more counterplay. Although I'll admit that was quite challenging. Knight here defending the bishop and then another freeze. Unfortunately, I think it's just a tempo too slow, so I should be totally good here. All right, I'm threatening g2, which would trap the rook, and I'm also threatening to trade the bishops. So if he moves the bishop, I could take on g2. If he leaves the bishop there, I can just trade. Obviously, if he takes, I'll just take back. Okay, knight to d5, very, very trappy move. Actually, I respect the heck out of that move, right? Looking for me to take so he can put a jump spell on my knight and then take my king, but it looks like it just hangs the bishop. The knight already jumps, so putting another jump spell on me doesn't do anything for him, and he's 2 recharges away from another freeze. So, give me the free bishop. Okay, and a4. So on the next turn, he will have a freeze. My question is, do I play for counterattack right now, or do I just play my bishop back? And honestly, that feels a lot more concrete. Just play the bishop back, get rid of this weird knight that's hanging around in the center of the board, and then play for queen a5, queen e5, once the dust settles a little bit. So I'm going to play here first. He does have a freeze spell, but I have enough pieces that I think I can play actively pretty much regardless of where he freezes me. Well, unless he freezes me right here, right? Then all of these pieces are frozen, and there's no way! No! I should have spent more time. That's such a good move. Wow, that's actually really good. Okay, wait, but I'm overreacting again, aren't I? Because I can just move anything, like, I don't know, take this pawn and then freeze the knight, and then what? Right? I think that's good. I think it's the only move, but I think I'm fine, right? And then he can't place another freeze, so who's going to protect this knight? Okay, I'm just going to, like, move a pawn and then freeze his knight, because who's going to defend this knight? It's literally impossible. Oh, unless, never mind, unless he places a jump spell on this pawn and then takes my own pawn, which would defend the knight. So I'm going to move this pawn forward. Oh, but I have to place the free spell first. Okay, I almost fumbled that completely. Let's do it like this. And then let's move my pawn forward. Okay, why am I not moving my pawn forward? Hello? Oh, because I've frozen it. Oh, what have I done? Wow, horrendous play. Okay, now he's definitely going to be able to take with the jump spell and defend the knight. So I'll just move this, I guess. So, well, that's kind of a shame. If he does place the jump spell on this pawn and then protect the knight, I really have no choice but to sacrifice the queen. Yes, a terrible shame, but really my only option here. So I'm going to take, right, I'm sure he'll recapture. There's this, which is quite annoying. He has a freeze spell on the next turn as well. Down to 54 seconds. So what about knight here to defend both of these squares? I think that's reasonable. Maybe a5 could be an issue. Knight here, check. I move my king forward. You take. It's not great. But this is really an issue right now, right? So what if I just play here right away? You could freeze my king and then play this. Okay, I'm going to move this pawn forward to create some escape squares. Down to 27 seconds, which is not where you want to be. This is 5-2 as well. I will also have a freeze on the next turn, so should he play this, I can just freeze him and then like move my king or something like that. Or freeze him and then just threaten the rook, which should be more than enough to win. I just have to play quickly now. So for example, if he doesn't freeze me right now, then I'm just going to freeze the rook and then Oh, I've frozen my own bishop! That was horrendous. That was the most mediocre play of all time, I think. Okay, I think I'm just too confused on how this actually works, right? Because if this freeze is over by the time he makes his next move, then it's over for me too, and then I can just take the rook. So I think it only matters if you accidentally freeze your own pieces and then you try to move it out of the freeze, right? But if you freeze a piece and then you move your piece into the freeze, it'll be gone by the next turn anyway, so I should still be able to win this rook. Right, so bishop comes here, which threatens nothing, so I will take, right? Totally good. Bishop can never attack the king. It's literally impossible. Different colored squares. Right, knight comes out. Let's go for the trade. If I can simplify here, I should be fine. 22 seconds left on the clock, so I can't get too cocky. I'm going to play this bishop here so that it's hard to develop the rook. Okay, we'll move here. Obviously, the trap is if he tries to move onto this, we jump over this pawn and take the rook. I also need to win back some time, so maybe king to f7, get the rook out, just play some kind of intuitive moves, because I am down to 24 seconds, and against an 1800, making up this time deficit is less than ideal. Let's play this, maybe we can jump over and pick up the king. I highly doubt he'll fall for it, but, you know, there's always a chance. If rook here, there's the skewer. We both have a freeze as well, so that can't be overlooked. Let's freeze the bishop and then take the pawn, which looks like it wins the bishop. And I don't really think there's a way for him to get out of this either. Right, where is this rook possibly going to move to? That's going to complicate my position. If he moves onto the open file and freezes my rook, then there's still this check, right? Oh, he's frozen my pawn. Okay, that's quite annoying. And I can't even defend it. Let's play this. Yes, good enough. 16 seconds is not enough time to be dilly-dallying and yapping, which I proceed to do anyways. Check. I need to use these freezes wisely, right? If I can put him in check and freeze him, then I'm in business. Oh, am I out? Oh, I'm all out of freezes. That was it. And he only has one freeze left as well. So he's obviously going to do his best to use them wisely, but there's also checkmate here. So let's not forget that checkmate exists, right? And there's also checkmate here, right? Looks good. We're making up a little bit of the time deficit, but I've also lost almost 10 seconds on it. Bishop here is probably good enough. Oh, it's not, because then I just jump over and mate anyways. Okay, I'm quite glad to see that the time situation is evening out. Is that not just checkmate? Check? Okay, but what is he gonna... Oh, he can freeze my rook. Of course he can freeze my rook. Why wouldn't he be able to freeze my rook? This variant hates me, of course. Of course he can freeze the rook. Why wouldn't he be able to? All right, he's down to the same amount of time as me, which I guess is good. There's also this check, which could pick up the bishop. So he's going to have to place this freeze very precisely, maybe right here. Okay, 4 seconds. Let's not flag now. Nice! Okay, we actually beat the 1800, and it's put us up to 1600 rating as well. All right, I'm actually very glad that we played that game, but I am kind of pooped from all of that suspicious calculation. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Please let me know down below if you guys really like this variant or if there's other variants that you want me to try, and I will see you guys in the next one.